This video is way overdue. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Tisha Ennis. I am a content creator, entrepreneur, real estate agent, and a 40-something-year-old woman who loves Jesus and is here to encourage women that are about to turn 40 or in their 40s to debunk all the myths and lies that society tells you what it's going to be like turning 40 or being in your 40s. And so without further ado, I'm going to get into this video. Okay, lie number one. You're about to turn 40, or you're in your 40s, so you're in a slow decline to becoming undateable and undesirable. And I specifically put some women on my thumbnail to prove that lie wrong. Megan, good. I'm pretty sure that many people thought that after she got a divorce from Devin Franklin, that she just was going to end up this older woman that is single and lost in the sauce, trying to find love again. And then she meets Jonathan Majors. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole dynamics of their relationship. It's none of my business. There was a headline that they had broken up, and then the next thing you know, she's engaged. And this young man is head over heels in love with her. Gisele Bündchen, supermodel of the early thousands, and married to this superstar Hall of Famer footballer, Tom Brady. Tom Brady chose his career over his family. And Gisele said, you know what? I gave up my career. I pursued family and taking care of you and put all my dreams to the back burner. Now it's time for me. She divorced this man, and this woman is now in love with her trainer or whatever, and is pregnant to have his baby. I listen and I don't judge. As a Christian woman, other Christian women may be saying you shouldn't be with these types of relationships. I'm bringing them up because these are women in their 40s, where some people would say that they're past their prime. They have proven that life is just starting for them. Denise Lawton, who is married for the first time at 46 years old to this gorgeous, handsome man. And I'm not listening over her husband, but I'm just saying, girl, you did that. You did that. Let's get into Vashti Kola. Vashti Kola is married to a young 20-something-year-old, just had her first two children in her early 40s, and is looking as young and gorgeous as she has been since the late 90s. Maya Washington, also known as Shameless Maya, mighty woman of God, content creator, businesswoman, entrepreneur, talented creative, married to a 30-year-old. She's from Sweden. They live in the Swedish countryside, have a little girl named Saga. She got married, I think, at 39 and had her first baby at like 40, 41. These are women that are living proof that it's not over. It's not too late. Let me get into some of the reasons why certain women are single in their 40s. Obviously, many women are single in their 40s because they have prioritized other things, such as education, healing, and being a better person. So when that time comes, they're not bringing trauma to the next generation. They're in a relationship or marriage. I myself, I'm a born again Christian woman. So I live by the principles of the Bible. I believe in no sex before marriage. Yep, I am one of those. And so let's be real, a lot of men are not willing to wait for that. I live in the Northeast, and I don't know, many of the churches that I've gone to just hasn't had a lot of single eligible bachelors. I have a lot of friends who are gorgeous, educated, have great jobs, independent, beautiful, and they're also single as well. So I'm not the only one in that boat. Other women, I feel like, have chosen peace. Maybe they were in past relationships in their 20s and 30s that were very traumatic. Maybe they got married, maybe they had children. And now that they're in their 40s, they have decided to just be single because they are afraid of someone coming into their space and just bringing back all that trauma and all that drama. And so they've made a life where they're quite contented being single. And that's okay. Not everyone has to be booed up. But for those women that are about to turn 40 and you're in your 40s, and, you know, again, society is telling you that it's over for you. Obviously, all these women are examples of, no, it's not. So this video is really a part 2 to the video that I made, The Truth About Turning 40, which resonated with a lot of women and made me feel so good that I was able to touch and encourage women out there to breathe a sigh of relief that it's going to be okay. Life is not going to be over. And sometimes life just begins at 40. Sometimes life just begins at 50. We all have different timelines, and we don't have to be in this rat race to meet this by 20, that by 30, this by 40. God's timing is perfect timing. And that's what I realized. And when we flow in that, we don't have regrets versus rushing into something because of panic and regretting your whole life. I want to read some of the comments that I loved and some that I want to address from that video. Let's start off with Pretty Support Group. She says, I learned in my human development class that early 20s are still adolescents and 40s are still considered young adults. Science agrees with you, gorgeous. Thank you, boo. You know, I do not feed into the whole rhetoric of, oh, by the time you're 40, this is going to hurt. That's going to hurt. You're going to start walking like this. This is going to look like this. I believe in the power of words. And you can speak things into existence. And most people that experience these types of things, if you listen to their conversation, this is how they speak. So I always say, I look far younger than my age. I speak life over me. I speak what I desire over myself. And I experience that. I remember when I was in my 20s and a coworker told me, oh, you're skinny now, but by the time you reach 30, girl, that's going to be all downhill. You don't put, I used to be like you. That's, you're going to put on me. And I told her, I was like, no, I'm not. The devil is a liar. I was not feeding into that. And would you know that when I was in my 30s, I actually went down another dress size. So I was even more slimmer and more snatched because I did not feed into that whole mindset. So let that be a testament to you. Amatara Sue 006 says, you still have time to delete this BS. And I promptly told this avatar, and I won't. It's so crazy. It's always the ones that don't show their face. They're like little trolls behind a keyboard. They always put up their username 1234567 or they put up this little cartoon or some little childish emoji to cover up themselves, because you know what? If they actually showed their face, you know what? Let me reel it back. I'm a Christian. So when they go low, I go high.
When they go low, we go high.
Next, you have VDem 2506. I don't know if it's a man or a female. I'm assuming it's a female. She says, thank you for these words of encouragement. I'm in my mid-30s, and I've got to say, so far, 30s is way more fun than my 20s. I've gotten a lot done in my 20s. However, my 30s is when I'm really starting to enjoy the fruits of my labor. People still mistake me for a 20-something, and my weight is on a healthy decline. I feel good, look good, happily married, no kids, and I'm in a decent financial situation. I think men and businesses try to trick us into moving too quickly in our youth. That way, we don't have as much time to think important decisions through. And so many of us wind up wasting a lot of time on toxic people and jobs. Okay, that's a whole word. Worse, still many children are brought into the world, not as gifts, but as unwanted pregnancies or simply boxes to be ticked off success bucket lists. No shame in living your best life at any age. I always thought it was a stupid concept to only enjoy the first 25 years of your life while the other 50 plus is just boredom and stress. No thanks. Society can miss me on that BS. Drops mic. I can't even add on to that. Like, that was just bars. It was perfect in a nutshell. Just take that in. Monique Jones 379. The truth is, you give 0F. You want to protect your peace above everything. At this point of your life, you should have grown enough in wisdom to know what is not good for you, what you're not going to tolerate. And yeah, miss me on that. Like, I am not putting up with that. I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting my space. Okay. 65 May 2 says, if God does not intervene, it's too late. I don't know what that means, because God can intervene at any stage of your life. I'm not sure where that person was trying to go. I believe that they were trying to get at, like, if God doesn't intervene by now, it's too late to, like, probably procreate and have a child. Not everybody wants children. But for those who do want children, God puts that desire in our heart. And those who want to have children in healthy spaces and healthy marriages, that's of God, because the enemy doesn't want that type of structure. He wants to just perpetuate another cycle, another generation of dysfunction and generational curse. So again, next, let's get to Tay West 5675. I'm 29. I have men trying to tell me I'm old, that I'm not young anymore. It's wrong how society tried to make women feel horrible about themselves. 40 is not old. I can't wait to be in my 30s. I see my 20s for myself as a baby still becoming an adult. I felt like a kid up until my late 20s. I feel like a grown-ass woman with some sense of the world now. Before, I didn't know myself and my worth. Now I know everything I need is within me. The only opinion I need about myself comes from me. Everyone else's opinion about me doesn't matter. The only other person who knows my heart, mind, and spirit is God. And that is it. He's your creator. Every woman out there, don't ever let a man put you down or family members. You're a queen regardless of your past. And if you don't feel like you're in the right place, you are in the right place. Trust in God, trust in yourself. This world can be ugly and there's a lot of beauty. It's a balance. Don't give up on yourself. You deserve to be happy and feel loved. I love that. Those are the type of people that try to hold you down, to try and stop you and try to prevent you from living your best life because they didn't feel like they were worth much more. So who are you to feel like you are worth more? Getting back to also what you said, baby girl, that you felt like a baby in your 20s. Science says that the frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until you're 25. So you're absolutely right. When you're in your early 20s, you're pretty much a grown teenager. So I totally understand where you're coming from. You're fresh out of school. You're trying to learn yourself. You're trying to learn where you fit in this world. And for a man to tell you that you're old at 29, it just goes to show his immaturity and his lack of emotional intelligence and intelligence on a whole. As a matter of fact, that actually happened to me when I was 29 and I was about to turn 30. Somebody that I was an acquaintance with, he was older than me. I said, well, I'm 30 and I'm still young. And he says, you're young-ish. I'm like, 30 is young. And maybe not for so much for a man because women far outlive men. So the average man lives to like, I think 77 or something like that. So when they are 40, they pretty much have already gone halfway in their life versus a woman. So you can tell the next one and drop that line on him. Amber-RK6EM. 87 here, meaning she was born in 1987. So if you don't understand where she's coming from, watch my first video. She says, and I'm actually excited about my 40s. I messed up in my 20s and I'm building in my 30s. I feel like 40 is about to be amazing. And yes, it is, baby girl. You keep that mindset and don't let anyone tell you anything different. We all have passed. We all have made mistakes. Lives. Maybe your life was on an upward trajectory and then something just hit you and you just spiraled down flat on your face. It happened to me. And I beat myself up for a very long time about it. And I'm like at a place where if I continue to look in the rearview mirror, I'm not going to get to my destination. When you're driving, you're not looking at the rear view mirrors. You're not looking at the rear view mirror. You're not looking at your side mirrors because if you do, you crash and you will never get to your destination. Next one, VWH Neil 1080. These names, guys. I'm very curious about how people come up with their YouTube handle names. Anyway, 40 is that sweet spot of the rest of your life. You are not trying to be 20. You should have learned a lot of lessons and your maturity has taught you to listen more than you speak. So you're not missing life's lesson and gems. That one resonated with me so much because I would not trade the wisdom and the growth and the knowledge and where I am in my faith and my relationship with Christ and all that the life's experiences have taught me to be 20 again. I would not trade that for the world. The growth and where I am mentally, spiritually, and about to get into physically. So I'm gonna hit that gym in 2025, okay? I would not trade that for the world. Like those life lessons are something that is just going to propel me into another greater space and a greater level. And that's how you need to think. I'm not trying to be like the Gen Z. This generation, I don't want to chat bad about the Gen Z generation, but they're special. They're special. Next, Arsena 1816 says, this came across my feed. The host is attractive. Thank you. Thank you. Strictly based on looks, I date her. Okay, thanks. But like any woman or man in their 40s who are trying to get the best partner, best anything, it starts with trying to be the best version of you. Facts. And it also is being honest about yourself. I am harder on myself than others are. Double facts. Brothers celebrate sisters who have done great things, be it Simone Biles or being the first Black woman to excel in any field. That said, when it comes to relationships, it's a minefield out there for both genders. I tend to see both genders generalize about the other gender. There are over 40 million of us in all socioeconomic groups all over the country, and generalizing is both wrong and, I guess he wants to say and, but he says but, is both wrong but inaccurate. I don't blame anyone for my bad relationships with myself. It was my choice, and I didn't spot red flags enough. When I was younger, I was wrong at times and had to make changes. Good luck to us all. We need it. And that comes with life experience and wisdom. That is it. When you're young and giddy-headed, I don't know if that's an American term, but we use that a lot in Jamaica. Giddy-headed meaning like you're like flighty and just, I guess maybe gullible to believe anything that someone tells you. And then you find that you're very vulnerable and susceptible to those types of things when you're younger because you haven't had much life experience. So that's when a lot of people experience their first heartbreaks and just things that they've overlooked. And I can't even just say the 20-something years because if you don't learn your lesson, you're bound to repeat it over again. So a lot of people take it on into their 30s and 40s and 50s and so forth and so on. But if you are on a journey of growth and being a better person, a better version of yourself, you'll spot these things. And if you seek God first and his kingdom and all his righteousness, you'll really become sensitive to all of the crap that is out there and all of the schemes and the ways that the devil is using to plot against you so that your life is not the best life that you envision for yourself or that God has already ordained and planned for you. Whew! I encourage myself with that one. With those tools that God gives you and becoming more in tune spiritually and sensitive in the spirit, you tend to spot red flags and you develop and grow in wisdom. And it's a beautiful place. But let us all have a heart to get to that place, to stop looking at the outside and start looking to the eternal and the internal, because it produces great fruit. Last, this dude, the fifth Don Juan. 40 is halfway or 2/3 of your life. Sad face with a tear. Yeah, it's old. And then I scrolled into his little profile picture and I was like, Tisha? There's so much to say. There's so much to say. But I guess what I will say, as I try my best not to insult you, it's old for you. You're probably, you know what, let me not even judge. I don't know what your dating life is, but all I know is that you can never, ever, 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 ever. So next, there were so many other comments that were amazing and so beautiful and encouraging and just filled my heart and just gave me the whole knowledge that I am on the right path that God has shown me to take. And it is a path to empower women in my age group to forge forward and not be afraid of the next chapter. I'm looking at women in their 50s now. I'm looking at the Essence Atkins. Essence, not only is she beautiful, but if you have heard her testimony and if you've heard her sermons, I should link one of her sermons from One Church LA in this video. Like, Essence, she's my friend in my head. Essence, I will meet you one day and we will be really good friends because I'm ready to glean from a woman like you. I'm looking at the Nia Longs. I mean, if Nia Long posts anything, the comments are just like, oh my God, you still that girl. You fine as wine and you're gorgeous and this, that, and the third. And not only is she gorgeous, but she exudes class and elegance, darling. Sanaa Lathan. Who else is out there? There's others that are not coming to my mind right now, but let us empower each other to know that what God has for you is for you and you will get it at any age. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video for more content because I got more heat for you. All right, guys, later. Love you.